When it's time to go heavy duty, the Ram 2500 is one of 4 choices in the large pickup truck segment. For 2025, Ram updated it with new styling, more technology, and it carries over into 2026, but with this new Lunar Edition package. Come with me in rural Michigan. We're going to take this truck on the trails and put it on the road. For 2026, there's some new trim levels, but essentially you're getting so many choices, so many configurations, just as before. Ram added 2 new trims for 2026, the Black Express and the Warlock. This is the Rebel, which they've had before, but now it has a new for 2026 option package. This is the Lunar Edition. You'll notice the ceramic gray paint, and it's a 2-tone finish. So you get the gloss, diamond black and below, nice graphics there. It also has a gray grille surround, and carrying over from 2025 is the new, even more aggressive front end. Lines going everywhere. This one has the Sport Performance hood, which is a further option, and it's included on the Lunar Edition. You're getting 34-inch all-terrain tires. You're also getting the black wheels. Those are undersized specifically for this trim. You get a slight lift, about 1 inch, maybe a little bit more. And this truck is already pretty high. A regular 2500 is sitting higher than a 1500. All of the Ram 2500s except this one, the Power Wagon and the Warlock, come with a mega cab, a regular cab, or a crew cab, and the mega cab is the biggest in class. This right here is the standard 6-foot 4-inch bed with the crew cab. That is the only way you can order a Rebel. I think it looks pretty good. It's mean. I love all the LEDs in the front, the marker lights and the clearance lights. Of course, that's federally required, but it always looks cool. Truck people, I know you like this, so what do you think? Is it Ram, or is it GMC, Ford, or is it Chevy? I don't know, but I think this one really looks mean. For years, Ram has built the highest quality, nicest looking and feeling interiors, and that still carries over to the 2500. When you get the Rebel, you get new copperhead orange contrast stitching that's on the instrument panel, the doors, the steering wheel, even the column shifter. There's also a lockable console storage in the center right here, and what I do like about the Ram is that even though there's plenty of digital displays, including one for the passenger, it feels nicely integrated and not just plopped on. That's the Ram difference. There's generous space in the back of every Ram 2500, especially so if you're getting the mega cab that is the biggest backseat in any truck anywhere. It's amazing. You can't get it here, but heated outboard seats, 400 watts of electrical power, and it's pretty comfortable. A unique Ram-only feature is this, a lockable Ram box. From outside the bed, you don't have to go in, nice and lined, and now it has a 2400 watt power outlet here. There's a special inverter. You can have it while the truck's running and monitor it with the touchscreen inside. I like that a lot, plus it's illuminated. If you want to max out your Ram 2500 with towing, you got to get the diesel, up to 20,000 pounds. If you want to max out payload capacity at just over 3,900 pounds, you got to get the Hemi gas engine. Now this one, as you see it here, 18 to 20,000 pounds depending on the configuration, because there's multiple axle ratios, you got to remember that. Even though the Rebel is available in one body size, so many of the 2500 trims come in so many different ways, so you have to have a towing chart, and Ram provides that. Now here, there is a step that you can get into. It's not really easy, it really isn't. Luckily, there's an air suspension that will drop on this trim. It's an optional feature, but really nice when you're connecting a trailer and don't want to have an adjustment on there. That is very, very nice, and it's class exclusive. Lots of space here, plus you can get up to 8 feet on the bed with a crew cab on all the other trims. For 2026, Ram now has 3 distinct off-road trims of the 2500. You get the Warlock, which is also in the 1500, the Rebel, and the Power Wagon. Now we tested all of these trucks. The Rebel is a nice in-between because you get 34-inch all-terrain tires, you get skid plates in the transfer case and the fuel tank. You get a raised suspension, about 1 inch lift, which is already pretty substantial on a 2500. And this one, the only one in its class to do so, has a self-leveling rear air suspension. That's particularly useful when hooking up trailers. You can raise and lower that as you want. And this one, I like it because you still get the rear locker if you want. If you want the front locking diff, that's what you have to get the Power Wagon for, plus additional, electronic, disconnecting sway bars in the front. That's for a lot of articulation. That one has a special front suspension. This one, I think if you're doing a lot of trail work or you just want a truck that you can really beat up, I would choose this one, I really would. I think the Power Wagon gets a little too crazy. What's also nice is so many cameras, and they'll stay active in off-road. So it really is helpful because it's such a wide vehicle. You have to be really careful, especially with these tow mirrors. And everywhere that this 2500 Rebel is a compromise on pavement, well, the ride feels so much better now on dirt. So does the steering. I don't mind the fact that it's slow and doesn't, has a lot of play in it. Don't really care at this point. So you can clearly see where Ram engineers were putting this particular trim. Just don't buy it if you're not going to be driving it like this. Otherwise, you'd be much better with a more street-focused 2500. Buying the Rebel means you're going to have to get used to tire noise. Big chunky all-terrains on this truck, you can always hear them humming. Now the one I'm driving has a turbo diesel Cummins. They've been using that for years. It's pretty smooth. It's a giant inline six, 6.7 liters, and it's making almost 1,100 pound-feet of torque. You get an 8-speed automatic transmission, you get the low-range transfer case. This thing could take down an entire house, it really could. It's incredible how much torque this engine's producing, and it doesn't really vibrate at all. You hear a slight clatter at idle, but it's ultra smooth, really nice. The standard gas V8, the 6.4 liter, still a favorite, love the exhaust note on that, but it's definitely getting worse fuel efficiency. Now, there's no EPA numbers because this is a heavy-duty truck. It's not required by law for any manufacturer to report them. But if you got the Cummins and you're on the highway for long distances, we're talking easily 20 plus MPG. And the Ram 2500, if you spec it right, has the largest fuel tank in the class. You can get up to 50 gallons. Choosing the diesel on a 2500 will give you the higher towing capacity. It does drop your payload. I'll show you those numbers later, but really if you don't need a heavy duty at all, I would absolutely avoid these trucks because just wobbling in the lane here, there's no feel at all with the steering. You have to constantly adjust. You'll find the truck wandering. You gotta pay a whole lot more attention. It's so massive. So a lot of people will put up with this, but really, if your day-to-day is not towing, I would say stick with the 1500 because it's plenty capable and even more comfortable. If you so choose, get the 1500. I always go back to that truck because it just works for so many people. But on the heavy-duty front, you're posting some of the biggest torque numbers, really some of the biggest efficiency you can get, and all the capability in this truck, it's got it in spades. And if that's not enough, you go 3500. Now there's no paddle shifters on trucks like these. You got a nice column shifter, a lot of analog controls, but there is what Ram calls a gear limit. So you press this on the steering wheel and then you can drop it down. That effectively works like paddle shifters, but it just locks you out of the top gears. And there's also an exhaust brake, which is really, really helpful. Trucks like these using the engine compression to slow down the crankshaft, which slows down the truck. When you're towing something, it's really a lifesaver. It'll help your brakes. I think that's a worthy option if you're towing. The brakes, even without the exhaust brake, stop the Ram 2500 pretty well, I have to say. Considering the weight, the pedal feel feels pretty good, and I don't really have any qualms about stopping a truck like this. There's now a 14.5-inch portrait touchscreen, but luckily there's still volume and tuning knobs, so you can really use this like an old school radio. Plus you get climate controls on either side, I like that, but it's also easy to adjust. This Uconnect system runs really quickly, and a big advantage of having the bigger screen are all these camera layouts. Just check this out. Just absolutely clear, super easy. There's all my luggage right there. You can also add auxiliary cameras, look at the side, more cameras. You can adjust where it looks. It's stunning, it really is. It's amazing, it really is. This would ordinarily show you something, but again, we don't have a trailer hooked up there, but look at that, that's crazy. Also, you can get on the off-road pages, for example, you can see, because this is the Rebel, the steering angle, if everything is locked. You can look at the front camera again. Just so many different ways to do this. I like that a lot. Everything here organized by app. You can change this. There's also still a lot of physical controls. You got all the four-wheel drive over here. You get the trailer brake control right here and USB ports below. But here, especially if you want to add auxiliary switches, Ram will pre-wire those for you. This truck doesn't have them, but you'd actually get real toggle switches. That's pretty cool too. This separate touchscreen here, just over 10 inches, just for the passenger, I like that it's actually neatly integrated into the dash, and it's also so heavily tinted that I can barely see it on. That's a really good feature. The digital instrument panel, really good as far as digital panels go. You got the analog controls, then you can also switch it into more, this digital look where you just have the gauges really far out so you can see all the spacing here and more graphics. Tons of information, turn-by-turn directions with full screen maps here. Nicely rendered, it's clear, good contrast, nice colors. When you're actually setting up more of the screen, look how easy they make it. They're highlighting in red what you're actually changing. And the graphics, they're large, they're clear. This is exactly what good user interface is. It does not overcomplicate things, and it keeps everything with physical controls that you can press right with your thumb. The 2026 Ram 2500 starts at $50,000. And remember, the Black Express and the Warlock are brand new this year. As tested with Destination, over $100,000. This Rebel had almost every single option you could get. The competition, the Ford Super Duty, the 2500 HD versions of the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra, and that's it. What's also new for 2026? Ram is giving you a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty for the first owner. They've never done that before. Among the American heavy-duty pickup trucks, it can be tough to choose a favorite. For luxury car interiors, though, it's the Ram 2500. Now, the Rebel is really meant to be more of a mid-pack trim. With all of these options, it certainly pushes it up higher. And even so, the leather quality and the stitching, all the materials, and the quietness for what really should be a very loud vehicle, it's pretty impressive. Now, the Cummins turbo diesel isn't my favorite diesel. I'd have to give the nod to Ford and the Power Stroke for that one. But again, all of these numbers are impressive, and it does depend on the exact features you're looking for. Things like the Ram box, maybe it's the air suspension in the back. Ram offers some unique features that other truck makers simply do not. Now, if you want to see more of our truck reviews, and we have all of them, go to CarGurus.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.